What if one platform covered everything from idea to market-ready product? A platform teaching all the AI tech and practices needed for successful AI-driven startups.
This is like AI imagination.
We found that the more specific we are.
We used a classifier, we trained a classifier.
I really wanted it to just be more open-ended for the user.
We were experimenting with different chunk sizes.
Having some problems to something.
By blending cutting-edge technologies from industry giants, you can create revolutionary AI products that drive innovation forward.
This was a special hack, it was a battle.
Let the hacking begin.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the 6th episode of What's Next stream. The stream where we tell you guys a little bit more of what you can do when you are done with a hackathon, when you have your killer team and your killer product and you're ready to take it to the next level. That is the next program. So I'm going to start off with a little presentation about the next program before we dive into our guests here. We have our hackathon community that most of you are participating in our hackathons. After this, we have our accelerator program where we help our teams to take their prototype to MVP and beyond in a digital space. So LabLab Next. A little bit more details about what LabLab Next is that it's a 6-week program. And as I said, we help you take your prototype to a MVP stage and beyond, and everything that comes with it when it comes to preparing for investors and so forth and finding partners. This program, it's a no cost, no equity program. What we do ask for is the right to invest in your startup on the same terms as your lead investors when it's time for that. So why should you join LabLab Next? Well, we have multiple reasons why. The first reason is the support that we give. We give it in the form of a customized guidance and resources needed for your startup to kind of accelerate without putting too much out of your own money into the project you're doing. We also have our huge community in the LabLab AI space with over 160 members, all from entrepreneurs to developers to designers and so forth, everything you could need in a startup team in your stage. We also provide a whole lot of mentors. We have a mentorship program now with almost 90 mentors, I think, in various fields that is there to support you in any type of needs you might have. And as I said, we also provide you with help from our partners in terms of perks and deals to kind of accelerate your development at a lower cost. So if you are a team and you have your product and you want to apply, we do have some criterias. Just like our hackathon community, we are focusing on generative AI. So first of all, your product must utilize generative AI in some way or form. Then you should have a working prototype. And from there, we will help you with growing that into a MVP. And something that we push a whole lot on is a team member. Having a team of only one person is it's really, really hard to succeed. So the limit we set is minimum 2 members, but we want you to be even 5 members, just to kind of split up the work to different people or teammates, so you can focus on different stuff and divide and conquer. and also celebrate together. Some of the partners that we are having in the program, you can see them here, and we're trying to be strategic with them, and we listen to the participants in our program to see what is needed, while we're also on our side trying to see what is it that people use and need that would help the startups this early in their development. For those of you who are interested in applying, we have the second cohort starting pretty soon, in about 2 weeks. We will have more cohorts also. So if you're just getting started trying to figure out what product to create or trying to find your teammates, we're also planning a cohort 3 in the beginning of next year, and applications will be open all time. So if you want to find more info or you want to apply, you just go to lablab.ai/next, and you will find a big purple blue button saying apply here. And from there, you just follow the form. And it's quite short, so shouldn't take too long for you to fill out. And that is it for me. And before I move on, I would like to just say thank you to the teams and the alumni that we have here for your participation in the program. And I want to give the mic over to Sovjenya to take it away.
Hey, I'm Saujanya, the marketing and communications person from the LabNext team. Here with me, we have two interesting startups that I would say graduated from our cohort programs of LabNext, and also my teammate Roxana, the program coordinator of the LabNext. So let me introduce you to these teams. I have Devdas from Brihaspathi AI, who created this amazing personalized companion using different AI insights. And you can use all of those insights to create customized and advices for your mental health and overcome any stress that you have. And I have Alexander from Autoderm, who has created a platform where you can use their APIs to analyze your skin diseases, and you can also integrate them easily into your blogs, websites, or you can even customize their APIs to get like quick insights about the skin diseases that you're looking about. So yeah, I'll start with asking the questions to both of you. How has it been? The demo day is over, and yeah, the last 6 weeks have been a journey for both of your startups for sure. How do you feel about it? Maybe let's start with Devadas.
Yeah, thank you, Sojanya, for all the good words. So the last 6 weeks have just whisked past. We didn't even realize it has been 6 weeks, right? So much of excitement, a lot of sessions with the right people, mentors, and advisors. So it has been great last 6 weeks. Though I wish we could have done better justice to the entire program, right? Yeah.
And how about you, Alexander? You're on mute.
Yeah, I saw that. Well, I can just say the same thing, and yeah, let's just keep on grinding, no?
That's amazing. That's the startup mentality. So my first question actually in discussion is for Devadas. So your startup and your concept is based on astrology, which of course has huge kind of cultural nuances and divides in how people perceive it. So you are based in India, and their astrology is a big important part of people's lives, and it's used on the daily by some. So can you give us some insight into your experiences in the people who have supported you in terms of bringing astrology forward as a concept for a startup, and what kind of how deep do you go with your astrological product? I know that you bring in aspects of all sorts of different astrological charts, I guess it's called. So can you give us a little bit of insight into your process essentially in building Brihaspathi?
So glad to. So like you rightly said, being in India, astrology is nothing new. It is very well ingrained into the culture of the country. Indeed, it permeates into South Asia. I will not put the Indian border around it. It permeates across all the South Asian countries. So astrology is big here, and it is not a market which is just come up in the recent times, right? Since ancient times, people claim that astrology has been here. As and when the newer developments in the market happened, whether it be print, whether it be television, digital, astrology has history right along the way, right? Primarily because people here have a genuine interest in it. And indeed, in my pitch presentation, also I had shared this factoid. The Pew Institute, based in the US, they conduct the socio-economic studies every year. So their latest research actually says that more than 83% of Indians follow astrology in some way or other, right? Even before they undertake an important decision in life, they like, if not an astrologer, certain astrological sources. What is a good time to start a business? What is a good time to venture into something new, right? What is a bad time not to do it? So there are times, we call it muhurta, kal, and everything, primarily time. What is the right time to do everything, right? So I asked this question too. So I live in a condo, so with a lot of business people around me. So I asked one of them, why do you do this? So he said, see, I'm taking a huge decision in life. So the investment I'm making here is small, but it's going to give me that reassurance. It's going to give me that mental support, right? So then why don't we just expand on it? And like I said, astrology is nothing new. There has been astrological publications, astrological applications, quite a few of them. It is a booming market in India. Indeed, there are a lot of startups in this similar space, providing astrological information and advice. So one of the reasons we decided to kind of take a break and build something different without moving away from the sector, which is what we did with Brihaspathi. So Brihaspathi is not your typical astrologer app. It is an astrological companion. It's a companion app. And people also say that astrology plays around with the fear factor. If you don't do this, something is going to happen, bad happen to you. So we reverse it. We said, okay, you are going through a tough situation. What kind of help do you require? What kind of support do you require? Like, so Alexander is a doctor here, right? So people say that most of this has a psychosomatic aspect to it, right? So we want to play on the psycho aspect of it. We want to give the crutch to people rather than driving the fear. We said, if you're in trouble, ask me. I will look at your charts and I will tell you when things are going to improve for you. So don't lose hope. Everything is going to eventually work out for you, right? So that kind of a reassurance, that kind of a crutch, that kind of a coping mechanism is what we are trying to build here. A kind of combination between mental wellness and traditional belief.
But that's beautiful. I think that generally, as you mentioned, especially with like younger generations and this being bombarded with information all the time about all the crazy things going on in the world, it becomes a bit challenging sometimes to kind of keep that optimism and get that motivation. So it's definitely understandable that a little boost in the form of an AI companion can be helpful in that situation. But you mentioned Alexander being a doctor, so we can transition over to my question to Alexander. So for your startup, for Autoderm, you have an impressive data set that you have trained your AI on. And something that I thought about a little bit is how challenging it must have been to collect that data. So can you give us a little bit of insight into your process?
Yes. So I have this other company which I've had like for 20 years, which is online dermatology, skin disease online, and also been a researcher. So that's somewhere where we collected like the first 150,000 images, and then now, which we trained the model on, and then now we collect through the API calls which are going on, and we collect the data. So now the new data that we collect, that data has not been validated by a dermatologist. So you need to validate that by a doctor, and that costs money, of course. So that's why we look for funding so that we can annotate these images correctly. And as you guys know, when it comes to AI, you have to have the correct data in order to train your models. If you don't have the correct data, then you get bad AI models. And on the internet, about 50% of skin disease images on the internet are wrongly labeled. So a lot of investors or people, they say, look, we can do exactly what you guys are doing. We just need to scrape the internet. And their AI models are not very good.
Mm-hmm.
So, both of you have created products, that addresses a sensitive topic. Let's say when Brihaspathi, you come up with these astrology solutions where, many people see biased opinions that they hear from. And Autoderm, like, there are like many people who want to like only hear it from the doctor and only then believe that this is the kind of diagnosis they should take up. So, what are the challenges you both faced while, proposing this solution or introducing your products into the market?
Alexander can go first.
Well, we have a model that's working. The challenge we have, people don't want to pay, basically. And this is quite, yeah, you're laughing, but it's quite, it's a problem, especially in AI. If you have read over the last year or so, there's been over $600 billion that has been invested into AI. And these companies, they haven't figured out how to get the money back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, people are saying it's like a new bubble. And even OpenAI, they're considering increasing their OpenAI Pro from $20 to $1,000 a month in order to get their investment back.
Wow.
But OpenAI is a deep and difficult topic with all of the restructuring and everything that they're doing. So maybe we save that for a very long podcast episode.
No, I mean they're not restructuring. They're just, as I said, they're trying to make money. This is the thing, because they can't do it like with not making money, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have a question for Alexander before I move to my piece. So Alexander, how dependent are you on OpenAI?
No, we got nothing to do with OpenAI. So we built our own model. So OpenAI and they have built their own foundation models. So we use models which have been built by Google, Meta, and then we mix them, these foundation models, which have been basically been trained on images. So it can be any kind of images like houses, cars. And then on top of that, you can then put your dermatology images, and then you fine tune the models for the AI that already has been trained on images to understand that these are skin disease images.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have a question to you. So if I get married in India and I get divorced after using your app, can I sue you?
Oh, wow.
If my app is advising you to marry, first of all, right?
If it's the right person, yeah. This is and as you know, in India, people go to priests to figure out when is the right time to get married, right? I've been to weddings that you marry at 5:06 in the morning.
Right. It's an auspicious time to get married, right? So you're right. So we play the role of a consultant here. So we advise people. So it's up to the people to take advice. Sometimes people listen to the head. Sometimes people listen to the heart. So yeah, there is always a gray area. Very much there. Yeah. So Saujanya, is just to answer my part of the question. So when we started off, we took a very broad-based approach. But when we started talking to people, for their insights, then a lot of our hypotheses were proven wrong, or it got fine-tuned or sharpened a little bit more. Our focus became much more narrower. Just to give an example, astrology is an existing market. I didn't know to sell it. I didn't know to create a market for it, right? That means people have already been using many solutions in the already, right? So if I draw a spectrum, there are people who require serious consult. For example, Alexandra gave an example of getting married. It's a big life decision, right? Life can it is a disruptive, right? Uh, People would rather go for a deeper consult. For a deeper consult, I don't mind finding out a very reputed astrologer, travel maybe 300 miles to meet that person, spend 1 hour with him, and pay him a reasonably good amount of money for a 1 hour consult, right? That's a deeper consult. On the extreme end is people who are just feeling lonely, people who are just feeling a little bit stressed out, depressed. They just want to talk to someone just to get rid of their worries or get some kind of a support. For that, those kind of services, you require the services of most of these online astrology apps available today, right? It gives a basic reassurance. So we are somewhere in between, right? So this kind of refinement came in when we started speaking to people. Second thing is we had this hypothesis of saying that we are building an AI bot, and people are used to talking to human astrologers. We thought people really want that human touch. They will not believe a bot, they will believe a human being, right? There is a grain of truth in that. But having said that, Gen Z, or the some part of Gen Y, the millennials and the Gen Z, they are more tech savvy, they are more faster to adapt or adopt technology. They said, okay, it's fine, we are fine to talk to a bot provided the bot is well trained, knowledgeable and empathetic and able to understand me and my question, where I'm coming from, right? So they are perfectly fine with that. Then we said, okay, we are building an AI bot. So rather than building a solution which is broad-based, I will rather build it for the Gen Z and Gen Y first, and then take it to the larger market later on. And from a geography perspective, we were very clear. We want to crack the Indian market first. It's a huge market, primarily because there are a lot of people here, right? And since we are building an AI solution riding on ML, that more and more data which goes into the system will only train it better, help it better.
Yeah. And coming from the branding perspective, I always like to know the story behind like why the companies named themselves so. And I do know what Brihaspathi means, but I would like to hear from you. And I would also like to know the story behind why you named your startup as Autoderm.
Autoderm. Auto is automatic. It's like, and then also in German, it's Autobahn. It goes very fast. And then derm is dermatology. Derm.
Okay.
Straightforward and practical.
Yeah, they're right? Yeah.
What
So,
about our Guruji AI Devdas?
so our market is quite fragmented, and there are a lot of players in the market. So everyone has already taken up the more sexier, shorter names, right? So we had a short list of names. We had around 30 names. So our first criteria is whether we will be able to secure a trademark. Second is whether we will be able to get a website, a domain registration done. And most of the things had already been taken up by someone else. And we were left with a few. And among the few, Brihaspathi was one thing which everyone liked. Again, we did a dipstick survey. We asked around. So many people said, okay, sounds good. It has an Indianness to it. So Brihaspathi, according to Indian mythologies, is a teacher of gods, some kind of a professor of all the gods, right? So somebody who is well respected, like you said, Guruji. So indeed, one day of the week is named after him, which is Thursday. Thursday in India, it's called Guruvar. Guru means teacher. So then we said, okay, it resonates very well with the sector we are playing around with, and it has a direct connection. Plus, the name is also available. So we decided we will build Brihaspathi.
Well, so those were all the questions that I had for now. I mean, there's always your startups are so interesting, and I could do a deep dive like for many hours. But I think that we could wrap it up, Zhenya, unless you have any questions left.
No, that's all from me. It was super great talking to you both, and
Yeah.
I would love for all of us to like grow together as a community. And in case you need to reach out to the next team, you always know where to find us.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah, it's been great seeing you after the demo day, and definitely stay in touch. So
Absolutely.
then with that, I'll say good night because in Stockholm it's now getting past or almost 6:30. So I think it's appropriate to say. I don't know what time it is in India. And Alexander, I don't know where you are right now, actually.
I'm in
You were in Spain last I
Barcelona.
asked you.
Barcelona.
So then.
So
You're in
we're
Bar-
same time zone.
Okay.
It is close to 10 o'clock here in the night.
Yes. So I think it's time for Devadas especially to log off. So thank you so much for joining us today. And
Thank you.
yes, stay in touch. We'll probably talk soon.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.